So when you hear movement code, we're going through elevated pigeon stretch. I'm going to be showing it from a box angle that's slightly behind, and then I'll try to do my best to show it here from a profile view. But oftentimes those of us with tighter hips getting into a full pigeon on the ground can be extremely challenging, where we don't actually get too much benefit, and or the stretch is going somewhere else where we don't necessarily want it as a result of our greater limitation. So elevating yourself up is a great way of finding a middle ground to get a lot of stretch out of that hip capsule and basically surrounding hip structures here. So what we're trying to stretch, a lot of this is going to be obviously like our glute complex here on the backside. Sometimes you definitely get a little bit of a TFL stretch here, but essentially it's these horseshoe muscles supporting that hip. So if I'm doing the elevated pigeon, I got an elevated box here, the leg's going to come across, and then I'm going to be square to that box. And what I can do now is I can start to play around with different angles of this back to get different stretch positions. You can also add a little bit of body rotation to hit some other spots as well. So from a side view here, it's going to be the same thing where I'm going to be in this position here. Okay, so I got an elevated position. Notice I can drop this back knee to stretch one way. I can straighten it out and lean in to stretch another way. One of the big things with the elevated pigeon that often gets missed, where we're not feeling in the hips, is we start to round our lower back too much, which puts more stretch into the lower back, which I'm not saying bad or worse, but we're taking it away from the hips. So keeping a more straighter spine is going to get obviously a lot more hip articulation, making the stretch that much more effective. So that's your elevated pigeon.